Alright guys, the time is 6 o'clock in the morning. It is March the 5th, and we are going to be doing this because the power is finally back. Originally, I was going to record this over the weekend, but strong winds kind of knocked out the power. So here I am. It kind of threw a monkey wrench into a lot of my plans. Sadly, no guest today, but next week we're going to be having some lore people in here. So if you guys have any questions for the lore community, feel free to ask in the comments section below. And just, you know guys, before we start this, I wanted to thank you for letting me do this. I know it's not the Q&A, and I know there are some people who want the Q&A back, but I also understand that there were a lot of people who didn't like the Q&A. They were getting a little bit tired, but you know, I don't know. If people want the Q&A back, maybe we could do that. But as of right now, I'm enjoying these PodCastrophes, just kind of talking, but without further ado, let's start by talking about the Halo 5 throwback playlist. So the Halo 5 throwback playlist is back in Halo 5. In fact, a lot of the gameplay you're going to see in the background is from the throwback playlist, as well as some of the Battlefield 1 Russia DLC, which I finally got around to playing in the name of the Tsar. So, you know, we'll figure out that, but when we get to that. But so the throwback playlist, here are some of my thoughts on it. I think it is a lot of fun. That being said, though, it is quite lopsided. There are certain elements of it that don't balance very well, and that's to be expected because it's a facsimile of classic Halo games. It's not a classic Halo game. So it's still got a lot of the problems that the Halo 5 enhanced mobility has caused to the way that weapon handling and weapon balancing, as well as hit registration, has been designed. I see a lot of people on my last video, which was very well received, by the way. I'm very thankful, actually, that people liked it so much. In fact, actually, if we want to talk about that for a second, I'm very blown away by how mature everybody has been in regards to the discussion on the enhanced mobility and the Spartan abilities. I expected my last video to be a bit of a dumpster fire because I was talking about a heated debate in the Halo community whether Spartan abilities belong. I don't think they belong, and I made a video explaining why I feel they break the gameplay flow. But both fans and detractors of the Spartan abilities, they were very, very mature and responsible with the way that they conducted themselves. People expressed their opinions. People had open dialogue. I was very proud of all of you. But, you know, kind of going back into this, I did see some people saying that a solution should be that a classic playlist should be in the game, or that maybe some people just shouldn't use some of the enhanced mobility. And I feel like this classic playlist in Halo 5 kind of highlights why that doesn't work that way. Because fundamental core parts of the game are designed with enhanced mobility in mind, and Halo 5's throwback playlist disables all of your Spartan abilities, minus aiming down the sights, because sadly that can't be disabled. But now we kind of see how the weapons were clearly balanced around enhanced mobility, because they don't work that well without the enhanced mobility. So, you know, it's not as simple as just disabling the Spartan abilities for certain multiplayer maps or matches, you know, or just not using them. Because no, it doesn't work that way. The weapons, the core fundamentals of the game were designed around it working that way. So it's working that way as in the enhanced mobility. So that being said, though, as a facsimile of a classic Halo game, it is the most fun I've had in Halo 5 since, well, the last throwback playlist. This throwback playlist is a little bit interesting because it is post-weapon tuning update, and the weapon tuning update has been highly controversial for a lot of people. The assault rifle is currently way too strong. The Halo 5 has always had a very odd relationship with automatic weapons. People think that, you know, finally automatic weapons are good, but a lot of people, pros specifically, which people like to discount pros' opinions and stuff, but remember, they're the ones playing competitive Halo esports. They know the game in and out, and they know what rules are unfair, and automatic weapons are frequently not in competitive Halo because it's not fair. It's basically you center the screen and you hold the trigger till there's no more man. It's very easy, and even if you do get you are able to kill the guy long-ranging you with an assault rifle, it's still a very, very frustrating experience, because you've got this guy who is essentially hit-scanning you from across the map, and you're constantly being descoped. There's so much going on visually, so much audible feedback of the bullets hitting you and stuff. Like, it's very disruptive, as opposed to just precision weapons being in competitive play, where a lot of skill is involved. You have to make sure every shot lands, and it's very easy to dodge the shots. There's a lot of skill involved, where when you throw automatics into the ring, just everyone's bullet, it's a bullet hose going everywhere. And especially in Halo 5's case, where the automatic weapons have kind of broken one of Halo's rules, where the automatics are good at close range. That's the range they should be good at. And I mean, to be fair, I don't really see how 343 could have done it differently, because Halo 5, in my opinion, has one too many automatic weapons. Halo, the SMG, well, it's very cool. I've always felt like it was kind of like, oh, this is weird, I don't like this, that, we've got two automatic weapons on the side of the UNSC. It kind of breaks the balance a little bit, makes one of the weapons redundant, or both of them redundant. The SMG thankfully had the perk of at least it's dual wieldable, which makes it different from the assault rifle, because a lot of people, backtracking quickly, a lot of people seem to have this misconception that the assault rifle in Halo 3 is bad or underpowered. It's actually fine. The problem is the hit detection in Halo 3 is so wonky that you rarely feel it. A lot of your shots don't register with the assault rifle, but when you are in a match with very good connection and everything seems to be working fine, the assault rifle in Halo 3 is fine. It works fine. It's pretty great. In Halo 5, there are too many automatic weapons. The SMG is back, but it doesn't have the dual wielding feature. So essentially now the SMG has just kind of been relegated to medium to close range, because, aiming down the sights with the SMG tightens up that bullet spread a little bit, increases the red reticle range, amps up the bullet magnetism a little bit, but same with the assault rifle. So the assault rifle now is verging on long range in terms of how you can use it. It's pretty silly how good the assault rifle is. It is way too good outside of what the range should be. I felt that Halo 4 had a really good grasp on where the assault rifle is good. It kind of remembered the CE days of the assault rifle, how the goal of the assault rifle was not to get kills. That was not its utility. The point of the weapon was that it consistently was able to output damage at a close range. So if you were close to it, it was the most consistent weapon with, just constantly unloading you with damage, and then you could follow up with a melee attack. That was the point of the assault rifle. And I think that that's a thing that a lot of people forget in general with weapon balancing. Every weapon shouldn't be able to get a kill. That shouldn't be the point of every gun in the game. Every gun can have utilities to it. I think of Combat Evolved. The plasma rifle, you weren't supposed to get kills with that. The point of it was that its utility was when you hit somebody, it would stun them and slow them down. That's, the plasma pistol is a perfect utility weapon. Its point isn't getting kills. Its point is that it can drain shields and activate EMPs on vehicles. In Halo 5 now, you have the plasma pistol, which can track across an entire map, as well as kill a unshielded Spartan in like 2 or 3 shots. Like, no. That's... You're breaking out of its utility role a little bit. And so, Halo 5 kind of forgets that, and it thinks that a good weapon means it kills good. So in Halo 5, all the weapons are balanced to kill good. In fact, actually, the Hydra launcher, I think, is the most creative of the weapons, because it's very much a utility weapon. The idea is, fires all these, tracking missiles, and I think it works very well in BTB. I actually like it a lot more than the Spartan laser, which is just like an insta-kill on any vehicle, and I think kind of makes you not want to get in vehicles in big team battle, where the Hydra launcher, it's like, okay, I have a chance. It's like the missile pod, basically. I like the Hydra launcher a lot. That's a good example of a utility weapon. But so Halo 5 with the throwback playlist, currently it's dominated by the assault rifle, because in the latest patch for weapon updating, they buffed the assault rifle. They increased the rate of fire. They decreased the the bullet spread, which means if you crouch and aim down the sights with the thing now, it is a laser beam. It's ridiculous how accurate it is. And they also puzzlingly gave it a 200% headshot multiplier or something like that. So an unshielded Spartan, 1 or 2 shots with that thing, you get the headshot. You can in fact, there's a lot of instances in the Halo 3 throwback playlist where I find myself going up against a BR at a range, and I outsnipe the BR. The guy can't do anything about it because I have a fully automatic BR with the assault rifle. A favorite combo now to run with the assault rifle is a plasma pistol or a plasma rifle, because all you got to do is plasma rifle, send out 3 shots to drain the shields, and then automatically switch to the assault rifle and land the headshot. Like, who cares about the BR? The assault rifle's an automatic BR. And it's a little bit sad that Quindel Hoyo and some of the multiplayer guys have kind of been very stubborn about the way that they balance the automatics. They don't seem to understand that the automatics shouldn't be used like this. And so, yeah, that's currently a problem. But, the Halo 3 throwback playlist is so much fun. It's so much more relaxing to play, and it kind of highlights a lot of my opinions in that the enhanced mobility makes the matches way too sweaty, because now that you've taken them away and you've got maps that are more balanced towards the no enhanced mobility gameplay, Halo 5's throwback playlist is very casual. It feels like Social Slayer again. I don't feel like I'm constantly sweating my ass off in every match. It's very enjoyable. It's very relaxing. I can think, I can strategize. Obviously, not a lot of mechanics work well because they weren't designed to be played without enhanced mobility, but I think it's more fun and more enjoyable than the base game, and I hope it sticks around. Yeah, if you guys were thinking about, trying it out, I'd recommend it. I think it's a lot of fun, and the Forge remakes of a lot of these Halo 3 maps, they're a lot of fun as well. But so we are going to talk a little bit about the feedback to the Spartan abilities video more so. Like I said, I was very surprised at how mature and civil the discussions were. I was kind of expecting that video to get mass disliked. I was kind of expecting it to be very polarizing and stuff, but people enjoyed it, both fans and detractors of the Spartan abilities. And it's just like, it shows you that there's some hope in the Halo community. There's a little bit of hope. It's not all doom and gloom. And I've seen also a lot of people who were turned around on their opinions on the Spartan abilities by my video, which was, thankful. That was the point of it, was to kind of show how I feel that it breaks down the gameplay from an objective point of view. Like, obviously, subjectivity plays a part. We enjoy the enhanced mobility. We don't enjoy the enhanced mobility. But I tried to be less about, it's stupid, it doesn't belong in Halo, fuck aiming down the sights. I tried to be more of, objectively, this is an issue that it has caused. Here is an example of the issue in practice. Not saying it's bad, remove it, but more so, here's an issue that it created. That's all I'm saying. And so, I also know that a few people at 343 have seen it, which is, I'm happy about that. I'm glad that they saw it. Maybe something can happen behind the scenes, because 343, I get that they want their enhanced mobility, and a lot of people say, like, they just want to make Halo theirs and stuff, and there is a certain amount of catering that you have to do to casual audiences, and it's very, excuse me. It's very naive of me to think that Classic Halo will return, that the franchise will return unrestricted to Classic Halo. I wish it would, because I think ultimately the series would benefit from getting rid of a lot of the enhanced mobility nonsense. But if they have to keep this enhanced mobility thing going, here are some issues that it has caused within Halo's core combat loop. Solve them how you wish. Just here's the issues it's caused. Because, you're kind of jamming enhanced mobility into a formula that wasn't designed for it. And, yeah, basically that's just kind of it. We are going to actually talk, though, a little bit more on a positive note about the upcoming Master Chief Collection beta patch test group environment setting something. Sketch, I don't know if he announced it or if he just kind of casually mentioned it, but I guess that there's a beta test server patch thing coming for the Master Chief Collection for some people, I think, on the Xbox feedback program, which I opted out of because I was tired of the buggy UIs and all this stuff making certain UI elements unreliable. I was tired of the constant updates, but it sounds like a lot of work has been done to rework a lot of the behind the scenes stuff on the networking end, because the Master Chief Collection was very much designed with the old Xbox architecture in mind, kind of when the Xbox One was going to be like a DRM machine. I think that's, where, you had to check into a parole officer every couple of days, check in online so that the Xbox could validate, because Microsoft inherently doesn't trust you. It's very infuriating that the gaming company has kind of taken to this. We need you to check into your parole officer every so-and-so. Like, you can't just play your game offline. Or you can't play your game offline without checking in every once in a while. Imagine if you had a cabin in the woods. Imagine if, in fact, actually, I worked at a video game store a little while ago. It was my last job. I have a new job now with pets at a place called Pet Resort, which I love. But this job, I sold used games, used consoles, refurbished consoles, all this stuff. And a surprising amount of people would come in and they'd want to buy Xbox 360 games, PS3 games, PS4 games and stuff, because they'd want single player games, and they'd ask if this had to be played online because they don't have online, they don't have Wi-Fi. And so a surprising amount of people, more than you would expect, don't have internet connection or stable internet connection, reliable internet connection. In fact, the saddest thing that I had to sell to a kid was I had to sell him this game, but the kid basically said that he didn't have an Xbox 360 hard drive. He was like, do I have to have an Xbox 360 hard drive to play this? Because I don't have a 360 hard drive. It was so sad. Like, to pay for the game, he had to get out like pennies and quarters and stuff alongside his dollar bills. It was really sad, actually, to see. And in fact, we did have a couple 360s in the back, and I just slipped him a 360 hard drive under, the counter. And I was just like, listen, you need this to play your games. Just take it. Which, that made that kid's day, which I was very happy about. I have a lot of interesting stories from that video game store. A lot of interesting conversations, interesting people, and as well as a lot of interesting things that we got into the store. We had a couple Nintendo Super Scopes. We had a few Power Gloves. They were in the process of collecting an entire Rob the Robot set from the 90s or 80s or whenever Rob the Robot was. I forgot, from Nintendo. But yeah, there was a lot of cool stuff at that store. I just went off on that tangent on the video game store that I worked at. But yeah, the Xbox testing environment, who knows when it'll happen for the MCC patch. I assume it's going to fix up a lot of things. I assume it's going to increase the stability, because I doubt the Master Chief Collection will ever be 100% fixed, because there's just so much. It's so dense. Something, though, that I am a little bit interested in is the way that 343 and Microsoft have been talking about the Master Chief Collection. They've been talking about it as a service, not in the scary service way of, oh god, the Master Chief Collection's getting loot boxes and microtransactions. I mean more so the way they're talking about it is like a platform for legacy content. Like, okay, clearly there is a large divide in the community between people who like classic Halo and enhanced mobility. Well, the Master Chief Collection, instead of just being a collection of fan favorite remasters, we're going to turn it into a straight up platform for classic style games. So if you are a fan of classic Halo, you buy the Master Chief Collection. Who knows? This may mean that we might be getting original content in the style of classic gameplay. New maps, maybe new games being added to the Master Chief Collection. There's even talk of Firefight, ODST Firefight being added with matchmaking support. Like, it's just exciting. It's exciting to think of the Master Chief Collection like that, like this safe haven where enhanced mobility can't get to you. I'm pretty interested to see where it goes from there. So now, moving away from Halo for a little bit, we're going to talk about a little game called Hunt Down the Freeman. So if you guys don't know what Hunt Down the Freeman is, it's a fan-made Half-Life game. It takes place during the 7-Year War, basically in Half-Life 2, an alien conglomerate of different species, a covenant, if you will. They're called the Combine. They invade Earth and enslave Earth, and the process of them invading the Earth took only 7 hours. And so this fan-made game will take place during the 7-hour war. And it's bad. It's really bad. Which is sad because there is talent in it, clearly. The lead voice actor, he's definitely not untalented. I think he was given some pretty bad lines to read, but he sounds competent. He sounds like a person who knows how to read lines. The cutscenes, yes, it's a Half-Life game with cutscenes. The cutscenes are incredibly well directed and animated. It clearly, whoever did those cutscenes knew what he was doing. But outside of that, there isn't much else. The actual gameplay of the game is very shoddy looking. There's a lot of talk of asset theft, essentially them stealing assets from other projects and not crediting people. Gary's Mod maps being retooled, repurposed. A lot of corner cutting. I don't know if it's laziness or if it's cutting corners. Maybe the project was too ambitious, and so they started to pull assets from other things and stuff, but it looks like a bit of a mess. The game currently has overwhelmingly negative as its reception on Steam, and more puzzlingly, this being a fan-made game of a intellectual property that they do not own, they're charging money for it. Valve is letting them charge money for it, whether it directly allowing this or indirectly allowing this. You know, it's happening. They're profiting off the Half-Life IP, and Valve is very frustrating in that at this point, it is refusal to listen to fan requests for more games from them, for more Left 4 Dead, more Half-Life and stuff. They are refusing to appease the fans, and so right now there's currently we've got Black Mesa, which granted was given the green light to be a retail product by Valve because they were so impressed with its quality, and that's being sold. That's very good. But now we've got Hunt Down the Freeman, which is awful. And it's sad because some people will be tricked out of their money thinking that it is a good game or that it's a real game. Because I can't imagine, just statistically, 1 or 2 people will think this is an official Half-Life game and they'll buy it because they're dumb. And they'll be ripped off out of their money. They'll probably play it too long for the Steam refund account. But right now, people are profiting off of Valve's intellectual property. And it's infuriating that Valve they're not touching it. They're stepping back. They're just letting these people make the money that they don't deserve. Valve, it's almost too exhausting to be angry at Valve anymore. It's just how they just handle their intellectual properties. They let Half-Life just sit. Not even a comic. As insulting as a comic book to end Half-Life 2's story, episode 3, not even a comic book to resolve the story. It's very infuriating that they left fans hanging. They know that fans want to see a conclusion, and they're just like, nah, we're happy just making money off Steam. As well as like Left 4 Dead 3. And then even then, it's like, okay, you guys clearly refuse to continue some of these amazing properties that people want to see sequels to. Can you at least outsource it? Can you at least let other people make it? Like, come on, people want to see more Half-Life. People want to see more Left 4 Dead. But now we got Hunt Down the Freeman, which looks like a dumpster fire. And who knows, maybe I could do a video on it in the future when I can get it for cheap. I'd love to point and laugh at it, although I feel like a lot of people are already pointing and laughing at it. So hopefully Valve will step in and take the game down or make it free, because it's quite insulting to see that Valve's letting them make money off of this thing and not protecting their intellectual properties. The next Battlefield game has been leaked. And a lot of people suspect that this is true because it was also leaked a couple months prior by a very, 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 like a very small person that not a lot of people pay attention to. But this guy has been consistent with Battlefield leaks. He leaked Battlefield Hardline, I believe, as well as the listed guns. He leaked Battlefield 1, listed guns, maps, and design for the campaign. And then he leaked that EA's different DICE studios are working on different Battlefield games. One of them, which we'll see in the future, seems to be a sequel to the Bad Company series, a Bad Company 3, if it's called that. And gameplay-wise, it's going to be very similar to the Bad Company series structurally and all that stuff, which, hey, another Bad Company game. Thank you. And basically, the idea was for this game, this Battlefield World War II game, was it was going to be a sequel to Battlefield 1 and try to build on the strengths while cutting a lot of the fat, like the poor progression system. And so this game allegedly is called Battlefield 5, but that 5 is stylized in the Roman numeral 5, so it looks like a V, and the idea is V as in victory, you know, like Winston Churchill. He always did that, you know, V for victory against the Nazis. So Battlefield 5 is going to be set in World War II, and it's going to be this year's Battlefield game, and so that's a lot of that's pretty exciting. It's like we got Call of Duty floundering around in the World War II setting, bastardizing it, not doing a very good job of representing the war respectfully or tastefully. And then it's like, yeah, here comes Battlefield in to spank Call of Duty and show you how it's really done. Yeah, I'm very excited to see the World War II DICE game running on the beautiful Frostbite engine. I like Battlefield 1. I subjectively like Battlefield 1 while being able to objectively understand why people dislike it. I've been enjoying the Russian DLC because the Apocalypse DLC maps I've not been clicking with them. I don't like them too much, so I thought, I hadn't played In the Name of the Tsar, that expansion pack, so I'll try it. And so far, I'm loving it. Oh, excuse me. It's early. I got acid reflux right now. But we're going to close this off actually with talking about, funny enough, Far Cry 5. So Far Cry 5 is another Ubisoft open world game. It's another one. They made another open world game, and they will charge money for it. No, okay, it's not that simple. I like to joke about Ubisoft's open world games, how they're all the same, because they are all the same. When Assassin's Creed Origins was revealed, I tweeted out, Assassin's Creed subtitled, "We made another one." Like, I didn't care about Origins. I was like, oh boy, just another Assassin's Creed game. And apparently it's good. And different from Assassin's Creed usually, which had me like, oh, okay. You know, maybe I'll have to swallow my pride and actually check this game out once it goes on sale at some point, because I've heard very good things about Assassin's Creed Origins. And now we got Far Cry 5, which at first glance, okay, they're reusing the same animations, reusing the same assets. Graphically, it doesn't look that much better. You know, it's still got, if you've got one of those eyes, I mean, to the layman, you know, it'll just like, what are you talking about? It looks much better than Far Cry 4. But to some of the people who are very, very almost autistic in their detail seeking, you can see that Far Cry 5 is clearly running on the same engine and using a lot of the same rendering techniques. Though who knows, maybe it could be annoying vignettes and, you know, different filmic effects used for the trailer. But listening to some of the Far Cry 5 stuff, I'm actually a little bit interested in it this time, because Far Cry 4 I thoroughly disliked. I thought it was a very, very lazy cash grab, because it was essentially just a reskin of Far Cry 3 with very little to differentiate itself, and then Far Cry Primal, which was just Far Cry without guns, to the point where there's a lot of... Basically, you played Far Cry 3, you've played the last 2 or 3 Far Cry games in the series. There's been no innovation or change, even down to exact animation uses. The animations look exactly the same. But Far Cry 5, some of the systems that they're going to be doing differently is straight up, let's talk about Ubisoft Towers. So Towers are the constant joke of open world games. Because Ubisoft basically ran the tower formula into the ground. All their games have obligatory collectibles. You're constantly looking at your mini-map more than you're looking at the actual screen. You're kind of just keeping your eye on the mini-map while looking at the gameplay out of the corner of your eye, because you're looking for the little collectibles and stuff, following the dot to the next mission. And when you get to a tower, you climb the tower, you get to the top, and then it opens up even more collectibles for you to find. Like, it's just busy work. It's boring. It's not productive at all. It's very, very unengaging. But Far Cry 5 is actually going away with the towers. And what it sounds like they're doing is, I actually like it. So basically, straight off the bat, the minimap's gone. They're removing the minimap, which I'm very excited about. It's going to have to focus our attention on what's going on in our environment. We can't just rely on the minimap anymore. And what it sounds like you do is, instead of going to a tower, climbing the tower, and then, oh, here's a bunch of obligatory collectibles, it sounds like you have to actually go to townsfolk and talk to them, and they'll say things like, yeah, that barn up on the hill, there's some gold stashed in there. And so you have to go take a journey to the barn, and then you find the gold there. That's how you get your collectibles. You go on these personal little journeys. And that's exciting. That's really exciting. It sounds like there's a lot more craft going into their open world this time. I have no doubt that when we get the game, it'll have X-ray vision. We'll be able to see guys through walls by spotting them. We'll probably have an owl or a drone where we can see people from overhead and mark them so we can see them through walls. You know, a lot of that dumb stuff that just kind of breaks down the gameplay and makes it very watered down and very unambitious. But it sounds like they're taking steps to make their open world games a lot more interesting, starting with Assassin's Creed Origins, now with Far Cry 5. And then the Season Pass, they actually announced what all the content is going to be in it. Sadly, they're stitching Far Cry 3 Remastered to the side of it for console users, so similar to Infinite Warfare. If you want to play that crappy Modern Warfare Remaster, you have to get the Season Pass, which I do believe they sold Modern Warfare Remastered separately at some point. But so Far Cry 3 Remastered, you get with the Season Pass if you buy it. And the DLCs are basically going to be wacky and a lot of fun. One of them is going to be a zombie apocalypse. One of them is going to be fighting aliens, I believe. And I forgot what the third one was going to be. But the honesty out of Ubisoft about what the Season Pass will entail, the fact that the game will have no loot boxes, though Assassin's Creed Origins had loot boxes despite them saying it didn't. So we'll see how honest they are. But so far, Far Cry 5, I don't see any negatives. They're being very honest with the game. It doesn't look as cynical as Far Cry 4 was. It looks very creative and ambitious, and I am cautiously optimistic. And then, I believe on the same day, actually, Dark Souls comes out on the Nintendo Switch, which I'm really looking forward to. But guys, I am running out of things to babble about because it's just me. Thankfully, when I have a bunch of guests, next week will be a lot more entertaining. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, the podcast. I thank you so much for letting me do these. I really do enjoy these. It feels like a more personal heart-to-heart with some of you guys. I like reading your responses to this because these aren't unscripted, so you're kind of hearing a little bit more of my personal ramblings, kind of like that little interesting tidbit where I went on the tangent about the video game store. But I'll see you guys on the next episode. Looking forward to it, looking forward to the guests I have. Alright guys, I'll see you on the next video.